The truth is, you don't need to quit your company. You just need to build a system that enables the company to function without you being involved 24/7. Here is exactly how to do it, step by step. When you feel yourself trapped, when you feel that you have too many things that you can possibly do, it is time to actually step back and log every single minute of the day. You will then find two things. One, there's a lot of time that is wasted, and two, there's a lot of scattered time where you're doing the same task in parts over different periods of time. Both of those are time wasters. Learn to avoid them, and you'll start clearing up your day. But the only way you're going to do that is record everything you do for a week. Ask yourself honestly, what is only you can do? What tasks can only you do? Not tasks that can be delegated, tasks you have to do. If you're the CEO, it may be dealing with the board of directors. If you're a more successful company, it may be dealing with the stock market. Know what you have to do as the CEO and delegate everything else. And you'll find that your time is a lot more free. Because one of the things you have to do as CEO is manage all those other people. Yes, you have to do that, but you don't have to do their work. Time blocking like a CEO is actually quite simple. It is knowing what you're going to do when. Remember I said earlier about you will find that you fragmented your work. You're doing part of a task here and part of a task later and part of a task later still. Learn to put all of those together into one set of tasks, block it together, and lock everything else out of that time period and accomplish that task. And then put it aside. A half-accomplished task might as well not have been done at all. I want to share with you something that I've been working on for a long time that is very important to me, and that is a Discord channel for business. On it, there will be a lot of free information, but also access to me. So you can have the ability to ask me questions, and I can respond to your particular problems and difficulties, and also help you get started. I'm really looking forward to being able to interact with you individually on there. I look forward to seeing everybody on there, and I will be waiting for you. Now, let's get back to our video. Learn to complete tasks, sometimes at the 80% level, because quite often 80% is good enough. 100% may take twice as long, and that you may not need. Learn to treat your calendar like a precious possession, like real estate. It is difficult to put things on it, it is easy to take things off of it, and it is followed absolutely rigidly by you. Don't let people crowd your time. If you don't need to talk to them, don't talk to them. That is the surest sign of an inexperienced entrepreneur, is that everybody has a piece of him. If your time is open and other people can walk in on it, they will do so, and they will eat up all of your time. A trick I learned years ago is when I want to meet with somebody, I go to their office, because I can leave their office a hell of a lot easier than I can get them to leave mine. New entrepreneurs make a severe error on hierarchy, and they make one of two. They either put too many layers of hierarchy or not enough. Your job is to build leaders that can handle the people that work for them, not just people who are working for you. People just working for you is one layer, you and them. Leaders enable you to put multiple layers in, but the right number of layers in. No one can adequately manage, unless it's a manufacturing line, can adequately manage more than 8 or 10 people. Use that as your first pass judge of how many layers of hierarchy you need in your company. You want the people that work for you to not just be your employees. You want them to be co-owners, and I mean that in two senses. You want them to be co-owners in the business. I've always believed that everyone who works for a company should have stock options. But I also mean they need to buy in to the ideas, the ethics, the process, and the products of the company. And it's your job to train them to do that. Otherwise, you just have somebody punching a time card, and you don't want that as part of your company. And you want them to communicate that sense of ownership, that sense of belonging, that sense of participation to the people that work for them. And that's how the company culture gets promulgated. Most of the stress of being an entrepreneur comes from doing the same thing every day that you don't have to do. Answering the same questions, dealing with the same crises, dealing with the same people that are difficult. You've got to get away from that. Most of your stress comes from reinventing the wheel every day, doing the same thing without a process, without a basis, without an experience level, because you've let it slip away because you don't have a process. That's not the way to run a business. Your goal as an entrepreneur is to not have a job and just handle exceptions. You want people to know what to do at all times. And what does that take? That takes process. That takes standard operating procedures for doing everything. Not because it enslaves people, but because it frees them to go ahead and do their work. It means having the data that is required to run the company and making sure that data is automatically collected, automatically tracked. You don't have to do it. There's a system in place for doing it. If it's finance, it's the finance people. If it's engineering development time, it's the engineering manager. Make sure those things are in place. Again, you're trying to work yourself out of a job. Secret, you won't. But you'll have a lot more fun. If something, anything, happens more than twice a month, systematize it, because it's going to happen again. And make sure you have a process and a procedure in place for when it happens again, so you can do it very quickly. I'll give you an example. Nothing to do with business. It has to do with the Navy. I had a really good yeoman. I was a legal officer in the Navy. I had a really good yeoman. We found that half of our charges that we had to bring against the enlisted men was either leaving a place where they're supposed to be or not going to the place where they're supposed to be. In other words, going AWOL, although not leaving the ship, often just not showing up. 50% of all of the paperwork we had to fill out were for those two things. So we pre-filled it in with all the little details. No, didn't put the person's name in or the date, but we put all the little details in that did wrongfully not go to, etc. Type over and over again these forms up. So we had this stack of forms that all we had to do was write in the person's name what exactly went wrong and track it that way. It cut our workload in half once we had done that. And we just photocopied them as we went on, so it wasn't even having to do it again. And that technique of seeing something that's repeated and making it easy to repeat is absolutely critical in business as well as in the military. It isn't the amount of time that you're spending that's burning you out. It's the chaos of the details that is burning you out. It's not just having too much to do, it's having too many different things to do that you haven't systematized yet. Learn to systematize them, and a lot of that stress will go away. It is much easier to work 10 hours where everything is planned in advance and you're just doing the leadership of your company than it is to work 6 hours where you're handling every little detail and everybody screaming in your ear at the same time. There's a very important word that every entrepreneur should know and use it frequently, and that is no. And that, or, what would you do? Or, throw the problem back on the person who just walked in your door. There's an old joke about the guy walks in your door with a monkey on his back, and his job is to give you the monkey, and your job is to have him walk out the door still with the monkey on his back. That's your job, to make sure that he does his job and doesn't give it to you. And everybody tries to, so even the best ones will try that on occasion. Get used to that and learn to avoid it. Your time is sacred. Spend it on what you know you have to. That's why time blocking is so important. I have this period of time. You need to talk with me. I'll see you at 3 o'clock this afternoon. Not right now when you're interrupting everything I'm doing, because that does two things. My attention's not on you, and I've lost where I was in the process I was working on. And those are fatal to organization. You're not immortal, and you don't have infinite energy or strength or stamina. Just like an athlete, you need downtime. You need to build that into the process. People who are training for an athletic event know when to relax, know when to not be training for the athletic event. When you're doing your job, take time off. Take vacations. So many people pride themselves on, I haven't had a vacation in 4 years. Yeah, that's why you've got ulcers. Learn to take advantage of the people who are working for you. Not in a bad way, but let them do their frigging jobs and go relax for a while. You do not need to leave your business to get your life back. What you need to do is modify the way you carry out your business to give you more time, but more important, to give you more order so that you do not feel overwhelmed. And that order involves taking time off. If you're coming from being a six-figure hustler, you're used to doing everything yourself. The first thing you should be doing is putting in place a structure that enables you to do your job and to communicate to other people what their jobs are. That is the first step towards unburdening yourself from having to do everything. Keep following that process until you have delegated everything except the leadership, management, and vision of the company. And you will find you are more successful, you are happier, and the company is more successful. Being burned out is not a badge of honor. It should be a badge of shame. It's a sign that you are not doing your job right. You are not delegating what needs to be delegated. You do not have systems in place to help you handle the individual details of the tasks you do have to get accomplished. You are thinking about the wrong thing, and as a result, it's frying you. It will continue to fry you until you step back, which is very hard to do when you're overwhelmed. Step back, put the processes in place, put the delegation in place, put the ability to learn to trust the people who work for you in place, and you will find the burnout goes away.